Alright guys, this is for the 11.1 assignment. This will be your AMI assignment as well. We're just going to go over a few of them just to make sure you know how to do them, but you all will need to complete this assignment. A lot of you have already started it, and there is only 20 questions. The first 12 are different types of questions, and then 13 through 20 are repeats of those first 12. But let's go ahead and look at this first one right here. This is like your numbers 1 through 4, 1 through 5, where you're going to look at this equation right here, or this function, okay? And you're going to go to Desmos, and you're just going to type it in. So we got f of x is equal to, and then it's just a negative 2x. And then the way you have to put squared is you're going to have to click on this keyboard, and then it's that a squared button. So we just copy this into Desmos. And what I like to start with is finding the vertex, which remember that's right there. On this graph it's at 0, 0. That's where your parabola comes to the point. So you're going to start off by putting it at 0, 0 with the plot a point button on ALEKS. And then plot it. Then you click on the little spinny wheel where it says edit list, and you're going to create a table. And it tells us that we need 2 points with a negative x and 2 points with a positive x. So remember, your x-axis is right here. And we need 2 points to the left and then 2 points to the right, because that's 2 points positive, 2 points negative. So the first one, it doesn't matter which one you put in first. I'll click on this one first, but it's negative 1, negative 2. So you're going to type in negative 1, comma, negative 2, plot the point. The other negative is at negative 2, negative 8. So it's going to be negative 2, comma, negative 8. And then plot the point. Your other 2 points is, first one's at 1, comma, negative 2. So 1, comma, negative 2, plot point. And then your last one, your fifth point, is at 2, comma, negative 8. So you're going to come back over here, 2, comma, negative 8. And then plot the point. Click that X. Now you have these 5 points. Don't submit it yet, because remember, you have to click the graph a function button. That then graphs your parabola, and then you can check it. And that is how numbers 1, I think, through 5. So like, yeah, number 1's like that, number 2's like that, 3, which number 1 I just did, is like that. 4 is like that as well. You're just typing this in and you're graphing it. Let's look at 5. Okay, so 5, you do not need Desmos for number 5, so I'll go ahead and make it bigger. And then you're just describing the parabola. So in this case, this parabola, it's going downward because each side is going down. And then for the x-intercept, remember that's your x-axis. See how it doesn't go through it at all? Therefore, your x-intercept is none. And then your y-intercept, you might need to zoom in. Look where it's going through your y-axis. That's at negative 6. Therefore, your y-intercept is at negative 6. Depending on your parabola, though, it could be having 2 x-intercepts. So just be careful, pay attention to that, depending on your problem. And then your equation of axis of symmetry, that's where you go to your vertex. So here's our vertex right here where my cursor is. And that's when you say x is equal to whatever that x coordinate is. So this right here for the vertex, the x coordinate would be at negative 3. That is why your axis of symmetry is x equals negative 3. And then your vertex, that's just that ordered pair for that vertex we were talking about, which is at negative 3, negative 2. So that's number 5. Number 6, you're doing the same thing, where you're just graphing that function. We'll go ahead and do another one. All right, here we'll do number 7. So number 7, when you type it in, it's y equals, and then you got 2x squared plus 16x, and then plus 31. So remember, you got your vertex at -4, -1. So then you put a dot at -4, -1. So then your next dot, if you want, you could do, see how if you click on it on Desmos though, it says it's -4.707111. We don't want that. So our vertex was at -4. So if you want to go ahead and type in -4 and that x value, that tells you it's at -1. Now we want 2 to the left, so instead of -4, we're going to type in -5. So that's at -5, 1. So then you go over here to -5, 1 and plot that. Then we need one more to the left, so we're going to type -6. And that told me that my y value is 7. So then we go to -6 and then 7. So we got these two on the left. Now we need the two on the right. So remember, our vertex was at x equals -4. So now we need to go to the positive, so to the right. So instead of -4, we're going to go to -3. And that gave you -3, 1. So then you're going to go to -3 and then 1. Last one would be -2. And then that tells me the y is at 7. So you go to -2, 7, make that dot, and then click the graph, the parabola, and then you're done. So on some of these, you might have to type in your own x inputs to find the y for it to be able to make sense. Because remember on that one, when I clicked it initially, it had a long decimal. We don't want that. It's not going to like when you try and graph that over here. You all can graph like a -3, 1 though. So then number 8, I'm pretty sure is, okay, so number 8, here we'll try another one. You're going to have to graph it, and you can go ahead and edit it. You can keep it as a y, or you can change it to f of x. Desmos, it doesn't matter, it means the same thing. But we have a -2x squared minus 6x, and then -1. So when it's talking about real zeros, that's where it's crossing your x. And it's telling us to round to the nearest hundredth. So that first x is at -2.82288. Okay. So we're going to put -2.8, and it says around the nearest hundredth. So that's 2 decimal places. So -2.82. And then you're going to have to separate it with a comma. And then your next one is -0.17712. So we're going to go ahead and type in -0. And then we're rounding to the nearest hundredth. So that's 2 decimals. So that's going to be -0.18. Because this 7, that's 7. This 7 right here is going to round that 7 up to an 8. And there is a chance where you don't have any real zeros if it doesn't cross the x-axis. So it's like number 8, number 9. Number 9, that's just your vertex. So if we were to have graphed, this is obviously a different equation or function, but you just put the vertex, your ordered pair, and then if there's any x-intercepts. Number 10, that's your domain and range. Remember when we're talking about a parabola, your domain is always going to be all reals. And then your range, you're going to start off with a y, and then depending on if it's going up or down, in this case, since it's going down, its y is less than or equal to, and then whatever your vertex is. So right here, it's at -1. So your y has to be less than or equal to -1. Number 11. We'll go ahead and type that in Desmos. Y equals 10x squared, and then it's plus 50. And then you might have to zoom out to see how that one was higher up if you don't see it. You can click that home button if you get too far out, but we're going to need to go up to 50. There we go. And then you can click your table again. Our vertex is at 0, 50, so we're going to plot a point. First one is at 0, 50. So we got 0, 50. And then our next one, you can do -1, 60. And then you can do -2, 90. So we got these two. Now we're going to do our x is 1 and x is 2. So 1, 60, plot point, and then 2, 90. So that's those same steps of plotting the point. But now for the inequality, it's saying fill in the blanks below to write the inequality for all the values of y given by the model over those 5 minutes. So then we got this graph right here. And then for your inequality, it's asking for the first 5 minutes. So over here on Desmos, we have to go ahead and click on where that 5 is, and we can see it's at 300. And then obviously from the start, it's at 50. So that's why for our inequality, it's from 50 is less than or equal to y, and then less than or equal to 300. And then for the description part, this is your range of y equals 10x squared plus 50 when your values of x are restricted to your 0, and then is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 5. And then when you're describing that y-intercept, right here at 50, that's the price of the stock in dollars when first available. It's obviously not the highest price because the highest price goes way up here, keeps on going. And then it's not the time in minutes when the price stock reaches $0 because it's at $50. And then last but not least, number 12. For this one, you're going to have to type in this function right here into Desmos. So if you type in your f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 8x plus 11. And then remember to get your chart. And then the first thing it asks for is the vertex. So for function 1, you just have to zoom in. That ordered pair is at -5, or sorry, -3, and then up 5. So that's why for vertex, for the function 1, it's at -3, 5. And then for this vertex of function 2, you can just click on that dot and see it's at 2, 3. So then you put 2, 3. And then when it says which of the functions has the smaller minimum value, that's talking about which one has the smallest y. So Obviously, with both of these being their vertex being at the very bottom, we have a 5 and a 3, so which one's smaller? Well, 3. So therefore function 2 has a smaller minimum value, and it's at 3. And then that is an example of every type of problem you will see on your assignment. Like I said, a lot of you already have this done, but for those of you that haven't gotten this done, hopefully this is going to help you finish this. If we do not have school tomorrow, if we don't have school on Wednesday, then we will go ahead and start 11.2 and I will send out notes. But your 11.1 assignment should be done as your AMI assignment on Tuesday. Okay? All right, see you guys.